again. It's a rich thing. It's not a game, it's a rich thing. not a game, it's a rich thing.
Oh man, I'm fired up. Yo, what is good, YouTube? What is good, PlayStation Nation? It is your boy Persona of Gaming with Persona, host of When Persona Speaks, host of When Persona Interviews, and host of What's Up PlayStation Podcast every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. And what's good, man? How y'all doing, man? Happy Friday to all you lovely people here, early birds, the people that's here right now. Happy Friday to you guys, and happy Friday to anybody that's that will listen to this later, or happy whatever day it is. You might not listen to this Friday, you might listen to it Saturday, Sunday, whenever. But yo, listen, man. I was contemplating this podcast, man. I really was. Some crazy things has happened this week. Some crazy things have not happened this week. And I think we all know what that is, because we all are waiting on that PS5 news. We're all waiting on that. I'm waiting on it. I know you're waiting on that PlayStation 5 news. We all are waiting on it. And we were supposed to get, let me not say we were supposed to. I was hoping that we would have got that PlayStation 5 news this week, but we did not. And I gotta be honest, man, it hurts. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts, it hurts, it hurts. It has killed my spirits that much more. But before we get into anything, let me shout out everybody in the chat, man. Shout out to my boy Jay Bari. Shout out to Cyber Dragon, EJ, Meewall, what is good, man? And to all the lurkers. There's a lot of lurkers in here today. Shout out to the lurkers in the chat. Shout out to everybody here, man. Round of applause. Oh, no. The sound's not their way. I was about to do a round of applause. Let me do it right. All right, there we go. Round of applause for the people in the chat. I said round of applause for the people in the chat. Shout out to y'all, man. Appreciate y'all so much. So, yeah, listen, man, my spirits been low this week, man. My spirits been low in terms of this PlayStation 5 news still not being announced. It sucks. I gotta be honest, it sucks. I'm pissed off. It sucks. And then I just seen the news that Kena Bridge of Spirits, which we'll definitely talk about this tomorrow on. We were going to talk about Kena anyway, but now, this is something to be added to tomorrow's topics on What's Up PlayStation Podcast. But Kena Bridge of Spirits got delayed, and I am, this week I am hurt. First, no PlayStation 5 news. Then Kena Bridge of Spirits is delayed until 2021. Oh, I am hurt. I am hurt, man. It is ridiculous out here. Then to top it all off, developers are coming out saying that this Xbox Series S is going to bottleneck gaming. Oh, I know y'all like that segue. So this week has just been a crazy week. But, the biggest news that, I think we all know why y'all are here. You feel me? We here to talk about this Xbox Series S. Right? So, Shadow, what's good, bro? Eddie T, what's going on, man? Baltimore's in the building. What's up? So, we all know, just in case you've been living under a rock, just in case, Xbox came through and they put their foot down this week, right? Shout out to Xbox, man. Shout out to Microsoft, man. Yo, Jeffrey King, what's good, bro? Shout out to Microsoft, shout out to Xbox, man. You know why? Because, one thing I said this on What's Up PlayStation yesterday on Barry's podcast, right? One thing I could really, respect about Microsoft, real talk, is that they came through with the dates, with the price, when the pre-order. I respect that, man. You feel me? And what made it so gangster was the fact that they did this on the PlayStation 1 20th anniversary. Listen, if you don't mess with Xbox, if you're not a fan of Microsoft, you gotta respect that. I respect that, man. That's petty. That's nasty. You understand? When I woke up and I seen that news, I gotta be honest. I was just like, I was like, whoa, okay. Microsoft straight up was just like, yo, listen, we putting it out there, right? That Series S leaked. A lot of people, it leaked the Monday, and then Tuesday morning, they put the news out there, and then they ended up confirming the price of the Xbox Series X, and just a whole lot of, ISA, what's good, man? So it was a whole lot of that stuff going on. And so, me, I'm like, I didn't really, and this is my thing, right? As much as I'm going to give Microsoft props for giving the date and all that stuff, we also going to keep it real here, right? Especially since developers have been coming out and people have been speaking on this, right? Now, peep this. When it comes to them putting out the date, the price, and all that stuff, that's good. You understand? That, I give them their props there. Now, when everything was kind of announced on that day, I wasn't really going against a lot of what they were saying for, multiple reasons. One, the Xbox guys, they hype, they happy. Let them bask in their moment. I ain't gonna shit on their moment. As much as as funny as it would be to do so, I sat back, right? Because one thing I've learned with game industry, the news and all this stuff, the one thing that I've learned is that you got to sit on the news just a little bit. You got to let the dust settle. Let the honeymoon phase kind of phase out. And that's when we really start seeing what things really are. And I said this on Barry's podcast where I said, after the honeymoon phase, because I seen people talking about, oh my God, the Series S is a great deal. Oh my God, I might pick one of these things up. I see all these people saying all this, and I'm sitting there and I'm looking and I'm like, what? What the fuck what are you talking about here? You really about to pick this up? And it's funny for multiple reasons. Two main reasons why it's so funny is because, one, so many people in this community is so against digital. Oh, we don't have ownership of our games and blah blah blah. That's why that's why, one, it's so funny. Two, with the Spec Ops, and for those that are new to the channel, people like, what do you mean by Spec Ops? So here's what a Spec Op is. A Spec Op is somebody that always talking about specs. Specs this, 12 teraflops, VRS, rate shading, and ray tracing, and those are the Spec Ops, man. They always talking about specs, especially when it comes to the Xbox. They always talking about specs. specs this, specs that, specs. I call them spec ops. That's what I call them. So, you know, you got spec ops talking about this is a great deal, a great entry level console, and this is a, and you know, I'm like, you know, everyone is in the honeymoon phase, right? Everyone is in the honeymoon phase, and I'm like, okay, you know, let's see what the industry has to say about this, because one thing is for certain, right? And this is something that I think people need to understand. When it comes to the PlayStation 5, you know, I'll give you that. You know, we don't know the date, we don't know the price, we don't know when we can pre-order. I'll give you that. And I'm right there with everybody where I'm like, PlayStation is messing up when it comes to the to how they're rolling out the PlayStation. Right? I give you that. 100%. One thing that is very prevalent and obvious, though, when it comes to the PlayStation 5, the developers are speaking very positively and very highly about this console. Right? They're speaking very highly about this console. The SSD, you know, the different things, the 3D audio, the haptic feedback, everything they're able to do. Like, you know, it's a lot of positivity surrounding the PlayStation 5, right? A lot of third-party developers are wanting to, you know, develop for this console, right? And that's very prevalent. It's very obvious. It's very in your face. And I think I think PlayStation and Sony did that on purpose, where, you know, you got all these developers, like, and it's funny too, because I get tired of these articles, but I see why they do this, where, you know, they got developers talking about how they're using specific features within the PlayStation 5 to develop their games, like 3D audio, haptic feedback, all these different things, right? And obviously, it's a reason for that. You feel me? Now, one thing that has always, again, struck me as like odd when it comes to the Xbox Series X, and really now the Series S, right? But let's stick on this on the X for a second. Is that we never have really been seeing that level of support or that level of excitement about developing for this console from other developers. In a lot of games that we've seen, you know, and I've said this before, you know, it has always struck me as odd that, you know, and I'll use, and again, let's use not Crash Team Racing, Ratchet and Clank. Let's use Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. This is a next gen title built from the ground up with next gen in mind. You understand? It's built for the PlayStation 5. It's taking advantage of all of the PlayStation 5's features, right? And when it comes to seeing that next gen experience, seeing that next gen, what next gen can potentially look, not even potentially, this is what next gen is going to look like, right? And I'm speaking in terms of Ratchet and Clank. You're seeing what next gen looks like on a PlayStation 5, right? You see that leap in gaming. One of the things that's most notable about that, and again, I'm going to use Ratchet and Clank as the example, is the fact that with Ratchet and Clank, we're seeing, you know, when they're going through different dimensions, like in the blink of an eye, you know, without, you know, no loading. Like, you know, everything is instantaneous. Everything looks crisper, sharper, more enemies on the screen, a lot more happening in the world. The world looks more beautiful. You know, the ray tracing, all these different things, right? Then, you know, so those are the examples that you're seeing on PlayStation 5, right? But then when you turn and you look at Microsoft and you look at the Series X and, you know, now the Series S, we don't really see anything like that. Not from a first party or realistically even a third party perspective. In my opinion, you know, from what we've all seen so far, nothing substantial that really shows this next gen leap in gaming from Microsoft. And that's always been like bothersome for me because we're looking at the PlayStation, we're looking at what the PlayStation's doing, we're looking at the capabilities of the PlayStation 5, and then when you look at the Series X, it's like, yeah, so Game Pass, and yeah, so it can load State of Decay 2 well, not even 5 seconds, it's like 12, 13 seconds, or in this most recent one with the Series S, oh well, it can load it can load what is this, Outer Worlds in 12 seconds. And I'm just like, every time we look at something next gen for Microsoft, it's always showing current gen, it's always being shown with a game that's currently limited by the current gen development. Yo, Chris Righteous in the building. What's good, bro? You get what I mean? Right? So those are things that have always stood out to me, and things that I've always like, I'm like looking with the side eye, because I'm just like, this doesn't make sense to me that you're still not showing us anything substantial or anything next gen, right? So fine. So we got the Series X, right? Now we get confirmation this week that there is a Series S. The Series X and S, this shit is so confusing. It's not confusing, but it's annoying with the semantics. Anyway, so we got the Series S confirmation this week. We got the confirmation that it's a $300 console. We got the confirmation that it's what is it, 1440? Let me look up the video. What am I doing? We got confirmation that it's we got confirmation that it's got 1440p and it can do all these great things, and well, on surface, again, on the surface level, it looks good, right? No, I don't want to show that video. I want to show the other one. Where's the trailer? I know they had like a trailer. Let me go to Xbox, because I know they had just a trailer for the... Oh yeah, this is it right here. Yeah, this is it. Right? So, we know that it's doing a lot of things that are not on par with the Series X. It's a weaker console, a cheaper console, and it's digital only. And it's supposed to provide next gen performance and all these different things, right? And this is my thing, right? This is my thing. And again, I said this, like, it's got the NVMe, we see it's got the custom NVMe, incredibly fast load time, seamless game switching, all this other stuff. It on paper it looks okay, right? Well, no, not even on paper, right? At first glance, especially if you're in that honeymoon phase, it looks like it could be something great. But in reality, and again, when I first seen this, I'm shaking my head because I'm just like, why didn't Microsoft just release a digital only version of the Series X? Why did it have to be weaker? Why did it have to be weaker? I feel like this is so, like, seeing something like this, it feels so backwards. It really feels backwards to me personally, just because, you look at PlayStation, right? You look at PlayStation, you look at PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5, right? And it's obvious that the PlayStation 4 has a lot of limitations. Eric Limpel said this himself. Well, he didn't say they had limitations, but he said that game development... So when he was speaking with Jeff Keighley, he said that game development would be hindered because of the PlayStation, if they had to develop Ratchet and Clank for the PlayStation 4. The entire development process would have to be altered to also fit the PlayStation 4, or be suitable for the PlayStation 4. So what we see with Ratchet and Clank would not be what we see with Ratchet and Clank now, would not be what we saw if that game also had to be developed for PlayStation 4. You know, PlayStation believes in generations. And even when you look at the PlayStation 5, right? We don't know the price yet, but I'm going to, let's just play, let's play around with some numbers here. Let's play with numbers. So for me personally, I think the PlayStation 5 disc-based version is going to be $500 and the digital version is going to be $400. Right? With both versions of that console, we're not seeing any type of parity going on when it comes to next generation of development on the PlayStation. Because regardless if the console is digital or not, the console is still going to maintain the same specifications that the disc-based version and the digital version are going to have. So the specs that you see out there for the PlayStation 5, that is what it's going to be across the board. Right? So that gives the developer more freedom to do two things, in my opinion. It gives them freedom to set a new minimum specification and a maximum specification when it comes to the requirements of how they develop games. And I'm only speaking on PlayStation. Those, the level of development and how games are created. And again, we can look at this, just go back and look at the Unreal Engine 5 demo and listen to everything that Tim Sweeney and the team were speaking on when it came to how that engine's development is being built. And when it speaks to next gen development and why they went with the PlayStation 5. And I have to be honest with you, and follow me here. Seeing how Xbox is rolling these consoles out like this, with the Xbox Series S and the Xbox Series X, the difference is so vast and the difference is so varying that I understand why Tim Sweeney and Epic didn't go with Microsoft to show off Unreal Engine 5. Because if they were to speak on next gen when it came to Unreal Engine 5 on the Xbox, realistically speaking, it would be a lie. Just think about this here. When Sweeney speaks on the PlayStation 5 and how Unreal Engine 5 is going to perform on next gen consoles, specifically he's speaking on PS5, right? When he spoke on how the performance would be, when he was given that example with the demo, when the demo was running on the PlayStation 5, what you were seeing, what you were seeing is what you could expect on the PlayStation 5. So, and that's across the board, digital or physical versions. So if you were to go out tomorrow and buy a PlayStation 5, what you saw on that video is what you could expect across the board. The issue here, right? Now listen. You got a lot of people saying, oh, well, the Series S is, it's a good budget console for someone that's trying to get into next gen. Listen, stop it. Stop using little Timmy. Stop using little Billy. Stop using Sally Mae. Stop using these invisible children that, they want to go out. Listen, no child is going out saying, Mom, I want an Xbox. Let's keep it a stack here. No child is in the store pulling at their mom's arm or their dad's arm talking about, oh, I want this console. Can you buy me this Xbox? No, they seeing that Mario, that Zelda, that whatever came, right, on that Nintendo Switch. Or they seeing Spider-Man, Kena, God of War, all these different games. And they're like, yo, Mom, Dad, I want that. That's one. Two, stop using this. Oh, that finance. And what's funny? I see people using this financing option as a positive, right? Especially with the Series S. And I'm like, wait a second. If the finance option is there, and they were going to push that type of marketing on these next gen consoles, why wouldn't you create, like I said, why wouldn't you create a digital version of just the Series X for $400 or whatever, or $350, $400, whatever price you want to set that at, and then just still push that financing option? It makes no sense for me personally. Now, I'm only speaking for myself. For me personally, to see them pushing like these financing options that you can finance a console and blah blah blah, all this other stuff, I don't. When I hear that and then I see the console, and I'm speaking on the Series S, when I see the Series S, I ask myself, well, if you were going to push these financing options anyway, why wouldn't you just build a digital version of the Series X and make that $400? This here with the Series S, it's pointless and stupid. And realistically, it's hindering game development. Or it will. I won't say it is, because obviously it's not in the wild yet. But from what some developers are saying, this is going to create bottlenecks and some hindrances and some hitches in next-gen game development. That's where, when I started seeing like some of these developers coming out and talking about this different stuff, that's where the problem started. That's where things started to arise for me, where I'm like, yeah, this is where the problem is, because this inadvertently affects everyone. Yo, Corey, what's good? Yeah, I heard about the Keenan delay, man. I'm hurt, bruh. I'm hurt. This is where it starts to affect. It's affecting everyone at this point, and I'm talking PlayStation 5 people, and Xbox. Realistically, Xbox Series X people as well. What is one thing that Mark Cerny said at his Road to PlayStation event back in May? One thing that stood out to me, like it really stood out to me to this day, it stands out to me, right? One thing that stands out to me with Mark Cerny is the fact that when he was speaking on the engineering and the creation process of the PlayStation 5, he said himself, we spoke to developers and we asked them, what is it that you want to see out of a next-gen console? How can we make your job easier? That was one of the goals and the vision and the creation of the PlayStation 5. Mark Cerny said it himself. Go back and watch the video. He said it himself. Part of the creation of the PlayStation 5, well, no, not even part. The entirety of the PlayStation 5's creation also had the developers' process, the developers' wants, needs, and desires in mind when it came to that creation. This, things like this are important because it shows that Mark Cerny and team are seriously trying to provide a console that is truly next gen. And what is one of the things that they said? Memory, loading. Those are things that we want to have an abundance of. Go watch the video. This is what Mark Cerny said. Go watch the video, man. I don't gotta lie. Right? So I'm sitting on Twitter and I'm seeing these developers saying all this other stuff, right? So again, the Series X gets announced. Everyone is saying, oh, that $300 price is great. This is a good entry level into next gen. An entry level into what? What are you, like, if you're trying to go into a next gen console, into a next generation of gaming, the development of those games also needs to be upped. You get what I'm saying? Whoa, yo, this guy, Adrian, yo, Option, Ghost. Yo, shout out to my boy, Adrian. Yo, Adrian, wow, bro. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate the $50 super chat, bro. Thank you. Shout out to you, my bro, man. That shout out to my boy Adrian, man. I know Adrian, shit, man. I know him for like 6 years, man. That's my boy. Shout out to the council, old school council days. Um, but when it comes to the Series S, what is this, an entry level gaming? What are you trying entry level into what? These are and I hate these buzzwords and these crazy marketing terms because it really throws off what next gen is supposed to be. It throws off what next gen is supposed to be. Next gen is supposed to be a heightened way of playing games. It's supposed to be a heightened way of how we play games. Everything is supposed to get better. That's the purpose of next gen. Everything gets better, gets bigger, better, more refined, all that stuff, right? That's the purpose of a next gen. Because if it wasn't, we'd all still be playing on Atari 2600. Or we'd be playing on Super Nintendos, Nintendo 64. Like, we would not be in this era of gaming if it moved the way these people expect it to move. Technology is always evolving. Technology is always growing. And I'm not just saying this as an IT guy. I'm just saying this as someone that's aware. You don't have to be an IT guy or someone that's following technology 100% to see and understand, especially if you are aware that technology is always moving forward. Technology is always growing. In the case of game development and video games, it's always growing, always trying to push itself forward. And I gotta be honest, man, we're not seeing that true push forward with this type of stuff. There is no entry level into next gen. It's either you in next gen or you're not. There is no entry level next gen. Because an entry level next gen is just the current gen that's riding the coattails of next gen. Yo, Vedra, what's good, bro? Xbox Series S is a door wedge to hinder game design evolution from generation to generation. Big facts. 100%. This isn't an entry level into next gen because you're not getting a next gen experience here. And then again, not to sound like an asshole, but we gotta be real here, guys. We gotta be real here. Xbox has no true next gen launch games launching this holiday. And realistically, the way next year is looking, we may see Halo maybe fall, summer, who knows? But the next gen lineup for Xbox is not looking good. Yo, Wrath, what's good, man? Caution, what's good? Shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to all of y'all out here, man. Appreciate y'all. It's not looking good, right? So when I see somebody say, oh yeah, buy the Series S, that's a good entry level into next gen. An entry level to play what? To play what? And I don't want to hear this, oh, Game Pass, you get to play all these games from current gens and next gen and past gens. And I'm not trying to hear all that, man. An entry level to play what? When you ask people that question, no one can answer that question. What are you playing this holiday on the Xbox? And I don't want to hear Cyberpunk, Assassin's Creed. I don't want to hear all that. Because you know why? I'm playing all that on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 as well. I don't want to hear that. You know what else I'm playing? I'm playing Spider-Man. I'm playing GT7. I'm playing I'm playing all these different games. Godfall. All these different games. Somebody's alarm is going off. Oh my god. You messing up my podcast, man. Fix your alarm. Y'all hear that? I know y'all hear it. Hold on. Jesus Christ. Somebody's car. Anyway. That's what's going on. And then it's like when you're looking at the Series S. Thank God they stopped that car, Jesus. It was messing up my train of thought. When you're looking at the Series S, right? And again, the honeymoon phase is over. It's funny too because the honeymoon phase lasted maybe half a day maybe. Because right after that, you seen developers coming out the woodworks. And this is crazy because you see it's folks out here, guys, that are coming out here and they're letting you know what it is. And people are trying to say, oh, these developers, they don't have a dev kit. They don't know what they're talking about. Developers don't know what they're talking about. The Series S is not going to hold back next-gen development, blah, blah, blah. Games are being created now, blah, blah, blah. Yo, shout out to, what's this guy's name? Optimus Code. Shout out to this guy, man. He said something that, like, really, really resonated with me today, bruh. And it was just, like, really on point, man. I want y'all to hear what he said, man. He posted this up on Twitter. Shout out to this guy, man. I seen him on a couple podcasts and things like that, man. I want y'all to hear what he's saying. He's a game developer, a game developer, like he used to be a game developer, or he writes codes, or he's a programmer. Okay, he's a programmer. So he knows about code and stuff like that, right? So Pete, what he said, man, I had to retweet because you know what he's talking about, man.
Community.
Hold on, let me start this over.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Optimus Code. Look here, man. There's a lot of stuff going on in the Xbox community because these developers are speaking up. These AAA developers are speaking up about the Series S and the bottlenecks that they think is going to cause for next generation. And I see all these people arguing PC, and blah, 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 blah. Look, shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. Like, stop this. Those devs know exactly what they're talking about. And every response to this stuff is the same thing, and you're missing the point. Everybody's response to this is how things are done now. This is how this is done. This is how that is done. The whole point that these devs are trying to make clear to you is that for the next generation, for the things that they want to leave what they're doing now, and they want to advance things forward, and they are telling you that this thing is hindering us from taking things forward. Sure, if we continue to do things exactly how we do it now, there's no problem. But that's not what we want as gamers, and that's not what they want to do as artists that create the art form that we love.
He says something interesting here, right? And again, shout out to Optimus Code, man. I seen him around the community quite a bit, right? Yo, Caleb Kaiser, what's good, man? Just announced Kina. Yeah, I heard about it earlier. I talked about it at the beginning, right? So Optimus makes an astounding point here. I really want to get him on for an interview, man, to talk to him and really pick his brain about some stuff, because he been saying some like real stuff, right? This is my thing, and this is why I question fans versus enablers, right? Peep this. He says that everybody is speaking to how games are created now, right? And what's one of the biggest complaints now? People are saying games are, they're coming out broken, the frame issues, we want games to get bigger. Oh, character models don't look as great. It's not as good as a looking game. All this different stuff, right? People want gaming to grow, and people want gaming to get better, myself included. Going into next gen, I'm not trying to be playing the same, playing games the way we are now. I expect gaming to grow, and I expect gaming, the way games are made, the way gaming is done, to grow and get better and be done and executed better. That is the purpose of a new gen, in my opinion. Now, when you're looking at the Series S and you're looking at what it brings to the table, and you compare that to the Series X and the PlayStation 5, it brings nothing to the table that will push gaming forward. It brings nothing to the table that will push gaming forward. Oh, well, but Persona, it's shout out to Bari. It's supposed to be an entry level console. For who? For who? I'm not going out. No one's going out and buying this $300 thing to play what? Old games? Really? Seriously? I'm being serious here. Someone's going to go out and get rid of their Series X? I mean, their Xbox One X? Buy a Series S to still play subpar non-next gen games? Who the hell is doing that? Excuse me, I got the hiccups. No, it's just a hindrance. It's a hindrance to next gen development. As much as people say, oh, I want to move away from this, this gen was okay, but it can be better. It can be better. I hope games get bigger and better and look better and play better. And again, it's not just about the graphics and the frames. It's how the games are made. Down to the itty bitty code, the little comma in the code. At its core, how games are made is being hindered here. And don't take my word for it. I'm not a developer, guys. I'm not. I am not a developer. But let's look at some developers, shall we? Again, shout out to Optimus Code. Right? Let's look at some developers. Let's watch this video right here. Listen, guys, I am just the messenger. I'm here to provide my thoughts on the information that is presented to me. Nothing more, nothing less.
Heard very similar things. First off, when you tell a developer to build a game for a next generation console and there are two options, let's just say Lockhart and Anaconda, what you do is you build to make sure that it's going to run well on Lockhart and then scale it up to work well on Anaconda, because it's easier to scale up than it is to scale down. And so Microsoft was getting a lot of feedback from developers who have access to this information in the dev kits saying, hey, we're going to build for Lockhart and then we'll just scale it up and hopefully it looks good. And hopefully it runs well and all that good stuff at 4K. And that is not what Microsoft wanted to hear. They wanted to hear, right, that you're going to have these great 1080p experiences and these great 4K. And
who's playing it? Yo, wait a second. Why would Microsoft, and this is why, and again, this is why it boggles my mind. It boggles my mind that Microsoft did not just decide to do a digital version of the Series X. Why would you do this? No, seriously, why would you do this and not just do a digital version of the Series X with the same specs? And it's cheaper. And again, you're pushing these financing options, right? You're pushing these financing options. You're pushing all this other shit that's supposed to be so pro-consumer and consumer-friendly. Why would you not just do a digital version of the Series X? Why? You're so busy trying to be pro-consumer. We're for the gamer. The gamer has choice. Take your entire generations of games everywhere. Like, you're so busy focused on stupid. Like, you're not even focused on next gen. You're not even focused on trying to provide a next gen experience. And it shows. You keep doing articles and interviews speaking on how the gamer is our number one priority and we want gamers to play wherever they want, however they want, wherever. All this stupid stuff, right? All of this stupid shit. All of this stupid shit, right? You keep putting this stuff, and then you say this stuff in interviews, and how, gaming is not our focus, and our focus is the gamer, not the games, and that's not the center of our focus. You're saying all of this, and then your actions are even worse than your words. Your actions are worse than your words, and your words are terrible. We don't care if people buy our console, and, we don't care if the gamer buys into our brand. We want gamers to play games everywhere, and we don't really care. It's like, dude, what the hell? What are you talking about, man? What are you talking about right now, man? How are you trying to provide a next-gen experience for the gamer? How? How? You're not doing anything. No games. No true next-gen experiences. You shoving Game Pass up everyone's ass. No true reason to buy. No reason to own an Xbox in any capacity. No reason to buy the games. No next-gen games really at all right now. Why? How is that good for the gamer? How is that good for the consumer? Because I can play Halo Combat Evolved across 4 generations of consoles? That's what's good for the gamer? Being able to play Halo Combat Evolved across 4 generations of consoles. That's what's best for the gamer, right? So you expect a gamer to constantly go out and buy a brand new next-gen console to play Combat Evolved. That's what you want? That's what you care about? You think that's what gamers really want? Look at your numbers. Look at the Xbox numbers. Look at the Xbox numbers when it comes to their sales. Do you think that that's what the gamer wants, ladies and gentlemen? I'm asking serious questions here. Do you think that's what the gamer wants? Look at the numbers. The numbers say otherwise. Nintendo and PlayStation are curb stomping you, Microsoft. How is your focus on the gamers when the gamers ain't focused on you? How? Explain it to me. How? Your focus needs to be on providing true next-gen experiences. How do you do that? Through your video games. How do you do that? You got, 15, 18, 20 studios, however many studios under your belt? How many of them are creating next-gen experiences? Next-gen exclusives? That's what's best for the gamer. That's what's great for gaming. Not putting out this gimped Series S that matters none and brings nothing to the table that pushes gaming forward.
Developers look, we have limited resources. We're going to build for the low end and then scale it up because we know it will work on the high end. And that is not what Microsoft wants to hear going into the next generation, early days. That being said, here is what I have heard, and some other people have actually heard.
There's that, right? Let me show the thread. I think he said something else. Here we go. Here's another one. Hold up. Here goes another one. And these are influenced. Like this dude, what's this dude's name? Austin Evans. This man went to Microsoft. Unboxed the console and all this other shit. He did that.
I don't think this is going to be for most people is because there's a lot of developers who won't take advantage of the hardware in here. They're going to, because it's cheaper for the developer to develop it for the baseline of the lowest common denominator. They're not going to make
you know why this video pisses me off? Because Austin knows what he's talking about is the truth, and Austin agrees. But Austin's trying to see, Austin's smart. Austin's trying to he's trying to protect his brand, right? He's trying to save face. Like, like all that bullshit. Austin knew this as soon as he got this shit. As soon as he got the consoles, he knew what it was. He knew what the other dude was saying is truth. But he's trying to protect his brand. He ain't trying to get blacklisted by Microsoft. They cutting them checks. So he's like, maybe you're onto something. Oh man, I didn't even think of it that way. Oh my God. Austin know what the fuck it is. Austin know what it is, man. Austin knows what it is, bro. Stop it, man. Watch.
Game that can't run on the Series S,
Right.
but can run on the X.
Wait, hang on. Are you trying to argue that the Series S is going to hold the next generation of consoles back? Because
Yes.
this is now the lowest common denominator?
Yes.
Interesting, right? Interesting. Interesting. You don't say. Yo, you know what? Shout out to Austin, bro. Because he's trying to save face, because he's trying to protect his brand, because he's not trying to get blacklisted from Microsoft, because Microsoft cutting them checks. Austin know what it is. Austin knows what it is, but he's trying to save face. So he's letting his friend here, or his partner, whoever, say it for him. He's not saying it, but I guarantee you, Austin agrees 100%. And Austin sees what it is. But, he got to play stupid because he's trying to keep the checks. I ain't mad. Trying to keep the checks, right? Trying to keep the money going in. Well, come on, man. Come on, man. Don't be fucking stupid, man. Come on. There was another one. Oh, yo, listen. I got shit for days. Peep this. Another developer, guys. Another developer. Yo, Omar, what's good? Another developer at 10 gigs for the Xbox Series S. You're talking about developers maybe having an extra gig of RAM for their projects over games running on the Xbox One at launch. For a system said to run at 1440p 60 frames, that's fucking horrific. And of everything, this is probably the worst problem. So now Microsoft is right back where they were this past generation. The base console is worse than Sony's. Their upper tier console is better. However, last generation, that meant fuck all because of sales. And what have they done to fix that? Nothing. So why support it? Well, so now you have the Xbox base spec where you cut shit down to make it simply run. You have the PS5 spec that you spend the most time on because it's solid hardware and a good place to support. So now you've got a marketing problem. Visually, only capable on Xbox has a huge asterisk that is only on the expensive console. This didn't work on the Xbox One X, and I sincerely doubt it will work here. Sony can go looks the same no matter which PS5 and have a big plus. That is the truth. PlayStation 5 has a serious advantage here. Because what can they say now? And this is why I said, why didn't Microsoft not just make a digital version of the Series X? Because now, here's how, I wouldn't be surprised if PlayStation spins their marketing like this. Just like how he said, oh guys, you see Ratchet and Clank? You see God of War? You see Spider-Man Miles Morales? You see Demon Souls? You see GT7? You see hold on. Let's do this right, guys. Hold on. Let's do it right. Here go the picture, right? Let's do it right. You see Horizon Forbidden West? You see Spider-Man Miles Morales? You see GT7? You see Ratchet and Clank? You see Demon Souls? You see Returnal? You see Sackboy? You see Destruction All-Stars? You see Astro Boy Playroom? You see Kingdom Bridge Experience? You see Godfall? You see Ghostwire? You see Project Athia? You see Stray Cats? You see Solar Ash? You see Goodbye Volcano? You see Deathloop? You see Jet? All that stuff will play. You see how beautiful it looks when you see those trailers and those videos? It's going to look like that on your physical PlayStation 5. Oh, but wait, it's also going to look like that on your digital-only PlayStation 5. All for just $400. You know why? Because the specs are the same and there's no parity here, guys. What you see is what you get. What you see is what you get. So if you want to pay $500 for you guys that love those digital, for those physical disc-based games, guys, we got you covered. Pay $500, get this nice, beautiful console, right? With 3D audio, ray tracing, up to 120 frames per second, HDR. Oh, but for you digital guys, or for someone that's looking for something a little bit cheaper, but still wants to maintain that true next gen experience, we've got you covered as well. We've got the all digital version of the PlayStation 5, all for $400. And again, I'm speculating price here, all for $400. So take your pick. He's right. Dan Wise is right here, guys. Dan Wise is right here. He's right. He's 100% right. Xbox fanboys don't want to admit it, though. They don't want to admit that Microsoft made a mistake here. A very grave mistake. All in the name of what? In the name of what? The gamer? This console was made with the gamer in mind? I don't believe that. Not at all. This console was not made, the Series S wasn't made as a budget title. The Series S wasn't made with the gamer in mind. This is how you treat gamers that's trying to go into next gen? By not providing them a true next gen console? Is that what the gamer wants? Gamers, y'all in here in the chat, sound off. Let me know, is this what you want? Is this what you want out of gaming going into next gen? You want game development to be hindered going into next gen? You want bottlenecks going into next gen? Let me know. Let me know. Because remember, Microsoft's vision is we are focused on the gamer, not the games. They said it themselves. Is this really what's best for the gamer? Is this really what's best for the gamer? I don't think so. Oh, but I'm not done, guys. Hold on. I'm not done. That Ubisoft forward was definitely trash, though. Where is... I seen some other ones that I had retweeted. I can't find the other ones. Cannot find. Damn, I can't find the other ones. Let me go to J-Dub. I think J-Dub. I remember, I thought I retweeted all of them, but I didn't. Here's one right here. Xbox Series S won't apply Xbox One X enhancements. Microsoft confirms. Lord have mercy. Should I keep going? Yeah, I am going to keep going. Of course. Why would I stop? Is this it? Here we go, yeah. I assume you work for blah, 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 not right now. No, this is not it. I'm looking for, like, the actual... I can't find it. Hold up, guys. I'm trying to find it. I can't find it. Yo, here's the other rumor. Wait, hold up. Here's the other rumor, right? Jesus Christ. All right, so this is the new leak, right? Where now there's pretend. This is a rumor, guys. This is a rumor. This is not facts. This is a rumor. But now they're talking about a Series V. So you got Series X, Series V, and Series S. I pray, I seriously pray to God that this is not true. I'm praying to God this isn't true. Because what? Especially if this Series V is supposed to be an all digital version of the Series X, Why put this out? Why put this Series S out, guys? Check DM. Hold up. All right. Yo, shout out to my boy. Shout out to my boy Chris Righteous came through. It's exactly what I was looking for too. So Axel, he says, really bummed about this RAM situation on the Series S. This isn't easy to compensate and drags down base specs quite a bit for next-gen multi-platform. RAM increase was already small compared to previous gen. Now it's almost non-existent. RTBVHs, I ain't even gonna pretend to know what that is, also need a lot of memory on top. Also, it's scaled on PC is the phrase that it's scaled on PC is nonsense. Every AAA game in the past decade or so has their assets made once they run on minimum specs, increasing sample counts a bit here and there for high settings isn't what you could truly have done with more power. Minimum specs matter. Minimum specs matter. What does this mean? What does this mean? Essentially, it's what Dan Wise said. Xbox is going to be in the same place next gen as they are this gen, because they're once again the first party games are going to be severely hindered. And then third, multiplats is going to hinder everybody. Oh, this is comedy. And then let's look at Billy Kahn. He says the memory situation is a big issue on the S. The much lower amount of memory in the split memory banks with drastically slower speeds will be a major issue. Aggressively lowering the render resolutions will marginally help, but will not completely counteract the deficiencies. Guys. I mean, listen. Folks can go on for days, man. For days. What does this mean? What does this mean? It means that going into next gen, Microsoft might have single-handedly screwed up how multi-platform games will look on next gen. Or it means that some developers, not all, but some may view the Xbox as an afterthought when it comes to game creation. Meaning, we might be seeing some more third-party deals. Well, we definitely are because PlayStation said it themselves, but we definitely might be seeing some third-party marketing, a lot more third-party marketing deals coming out of this. A lot more than what we might even expect. And the reason why I say that is because look at the perception right now. Omar said, at Gaming with Persona, let me remind you that these are the same people who were saying and have crunch issues and now crapping on actual devs. Exactly. It's exactly, Omar. But they always do that. They never stand by their convictions. They always flip-flop. Always. That's no surprise. Not to me. But the important thing is the fact that developers are coming out and speaking so highly, well, not highly, but speaking about this, right? What does this tell you? This tells you that this is definitely a problem in the industry, and it also tells you that Microsoft didn't really speak to developers about this console before creating it. Because again, when it comes to the third party, or just game development in general, going into next gen, We want games to look better, perform better, be built bigger and better. You're not getting that with an Xbox Series S attached to your coattails. You're not. And it's sad because some people can't admit, they can't accept or fathom or begin to understand the fact that this Series S poses as a problem. And if you're somebody that's banking on an Xbox next gen, you might be disappointed. And I just say go off the track record. Look at the track record. Go look up the history. Go and look up the history. Oh man. So, that's how I feel about it, man. It seems foolish that they wouldn't just do a digital version of the Series X. It really does. It seems very foolish. Very, very foolish. But what are you going to do, right? This is how they feel. Everyone thinks Microsoft is doing the right thing because it's the best thing for gamers. And I'm telling you guys, come this holiday, gamers are going to vote with their wallets. And a lot of people might be surprised with where people end up. I don't think people are clamoring to pre-order that Xbox. I'm just being honest. Persona, these Xbox guys who act as idols to these little minions, they be sending them out to attack and discredit these devs. These Xbox dudes are like the Peggies in Far Cry 5. Yo, Rollo, you funny, man. We'll see what happens. I'm fairly confident. Nick said, yo, shout out to Nick. What's good, bro? He said, Nick says, Infinity Ward developer David Michner, a multiplayer designer for Call of Duty, expressed concern that the Series S will hold back next-gen games once this current gen is left in a few years. I mean, so one of two things is going to happen here. Either, again, we're going to start seeing more third-party marketing deals with PlayStation, or some developers might be like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with this Xbox. I mean, I don't think that'll happen like anytime soon, like, right away. But this concern is definitely, it should be looked at with more seriousness, because, if you got developers letting you know off rip that, look, y'all might not be seeing some true next gen games, that's messing with everybody's money. PlayStation's money, Xbox money, everybody money, because we ain't really seeing, the developers' money. If we ain't seeing true next-gen games from these third-party developers, what's the deal? What's going on? Because you can't, especially when you leave the current-gen consoles behind, whose fault is it? Whose fault is it? Exactly, Nick. Nick brings up another great point. These aren't just indie devs saying that. Even though if indie devs were speaking like this too, it would cause for concern. But it ain't just indie developers saying this stuff. These are some like big name studios, ID Software, they call Infinity Ward developers. Like, these are some big name people and developing teams saying this stuff. So that definitely causes for concern. Chris Righteous says, you think we'll see third-party games not come to the Series S, only Series X and PS5? Yes, I can see that. I can see them doing that. I can see them doing one of two things. Either they don't put their games on Xbox for like a year or whatever just to give more development time, or we might see developers just be like, yo, look, yo, this game is just coming to the Series X. I can see that. I could see it, even though I don't. Even though I can see it happening, they might not do that per se. But I can see them doing that. Yo, shout out to Vedger. Shout out to Vedger with the super chat. Appreciate it, bro. He says, if Microsoft demands parity releases for the Series X, the Series S, to make it possible to publishers to publish their games on all next-gen Xboxes, I bet most third-party publishers will only publish on Switch, PS5, and PC. Yo, Vedger, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. And this is why Microsoft, in my opinion, the Xbox Series S and the X is in a really messed up position here, because if they do try to push for that, you'll definitely start seeing games come out especially if Switch is going to be coming out with like a next gen console soon or whatever, or you might just see things come out for PS5 and PC. I'm so serious, man, because realistically speaking, PlayStation already has the market share. They've got the market share. PlayStation has the market share. So, we've been seeing it a lot this gen anywhere, and even though it's not really, with Western third-party games, yes, but even with, a lot of Japanese games and things like that, where, the games will come out for the Switch, PS4, and PC, or PlayStation and PC. Xbox hasn't been getting a lot of these fighting games. Xbox has not been getting a lot of these Japanese titles. And Xbox has not been getting a lot of these. They have, but at a later date. But some of these more obscure indies and things like that. I can see it happening. Episode, you see what I mean? These dumb names. Xbox Series S, Series X. It's confusing. Yo, it is confusing. But I think it's more of like the tongue tie. I'm getting tongue tied saying it. Xbox Series S, Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, Xbox Series, I'm getting a little tongue-tied. But it is a problem. Apisona, just found out Keenan's delayed. You aware of that? If not, just send you in my DM. Yeah. I found out about it earlier, and I was talking about it at the beginning of the podcast. I'm just like, yo, I'm hurt, man. That Keenan getting delayed hurts, man. It hurts a lot. For real. But yeah, man, that's market share usually changes every generation. Market share not changing next gen, bruh. You see how everybody is clamoring for this PS5? That market share not changing next gen. We good. Straight up. Especially now seeing how Xbox is fumbling at every turn. Nah, it's that market share is not. Andre Clay, that market share is not changing next gen in any capacity. PlayStation will have the market share going into next gen. We will see. I mean, sure, we will, but again, you see everybody clamoring for a PlayStation 5. I don't see that with Xbox, do you? Go look at the numbers on YouTube with the reveals. Go look at whenever they talk about their next gen news, the numbers. That market share is not going to change next gen. Corey, next gen gonna be worse than this gen. What? Come on, man. I'm not sure if it's only 13 people working on Kena, that's actually quite amazing. But yo, man, listen, at the end of the day, I wish Xbox would have done the Series X all digital console instead of this Series S bullshit that we got, because now, like I said, we're going to be seeing some sort of parity, and we're definitely going to be seeing some games be held back, and that's across the board, and realistically speaking, something like this might but in my opinion, I think it will hurt the Xbox Series X tremendously, and it might even, you know, we might or we will see a repeat of this gen, next gen, where PlayStation is going to curb stomp Xbox in sales, the third-party marketing deals, and everything else. And that's just looking at the history, looking at the traction of both consoles, and looking at how both consoles is moving when it comes to games, exclusives, third-party marketing deals already, the rollout of the console, just all that stuff, man. Like, just look at them side by side. It's night and day. It's night and day. Like the first year, the first year of PlayStation, right? So PlayStation launches this holiday, right? By holiday 2021, all of these games will have released on the PlayStation 5. Your pug was good. By holiday 2021, by the end of next year, all of these games will have released on the PlayStation 5. Not to mention all the other stuff that's coming next year from third-party deals and, you know, any other new announcements for new games or stuff like that that may be coming as well. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. You look at this list, you look at all these games here, you get excited. I look at the first 5 games on the list. So that's Horizon, Spider-Man, GT, Ratchet & Clank, and Demon's Souls. And I just get it. Those 5 games in themselves, I'm excited. Then we get to Returnal, Sackboy, Destruction All-Star, like Kena, Godfall. Like, I'm excited as hell for Godfall. I can't wait for Godfall. Like, you know, you go down the list, I'm excited about everything here. Everything here getting bought, except for Jet. I'm not buying Jet. That I'm not buying. But everything else here on this list is getting picked up. This is next gen. When you buy a PS5, this is what you have to look forward to. Bug Snacks. Thank you, ISA. Bug Snacks. Like, how can you not look at this list and talk about mind share? Talking about mind share going into next gen? Talking about mind share? Look at next gen for PlayStation. What's next gen for Xbox? Tetris? Something you can already play on the PlayStation 4? Assassin's Creed? Something you can play on the PlayStation 4? Cyberpunk? Something you can play on the PlayStation? All those games are whack except for Horizon and Demon's Souls. Yo, Andre, I know you trolling, bro. Yeah, that man Andre trolling. That man trolling in the chat. Little Devil Inside. That isn't on here. But yeah, Little Devil Inside. Bug Snacks. Listen, man. Y'all, we'll see who got the market share next year. Next gen. We already know who it is. We already know who it's going to be. No surprises. Phil Smith has Xbox Mindshare, including Andre. Cyber Dragon. Oh, man. Shout out to Cyber Dragon, man. That's my boy. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it, man. That's all I really wanted to say. At the end of the day, man, this game and shit is get ready for the long haul, guys. Next gen about to be crazy. I can't wait to see next gen play out because just everything. I'm telling you guys, I think we're gonna be in for some surprises. I think we're gonna be in for some surprise. When I say surprises, I mean some surprise marketing deals, some surprise games that won't be on specific consoles, surprise exclusive third-party deals. I'm telling you, I think PlayStation is looking at this and they're like, we got this in the bag. They're not. I don't think they're sweating it anymore. I don't think they were sweating it at all, honestly. But I think now, yeah, they're laughing at this because it really is laughable. This shit's really laughable because it's surprising to see. Very laughable. But yo, guys in the stream, man, I'm about to get up out of here, man. I'm about to play some games, relax for the evening. Yo, Chris, you right, man. They was never sweating, man. They were never sweating. What was I thinking saying that? Shame on me. Yo, big shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I really appreciate y'all coming through. Even Andre Clay. Shout out to you, Andre Clay. Shout out to him, man. He a Xbox guy. He was in the chat trolling, man, but he kept it respectful. And yo, shout out to Andre Clay, man. I hope you come back, Andre. I hope you come back, Andre. I honestly do. You know, open up your mind to some facts and some truths. You know, stop sipping that green juice and come on over here and get you some truth. But yo, everybody in the chat, man. You know, I appreciate y'all coming through, man. Like I said, even Andre, appreciate you too, bro. Shout out to the Xbox community, man. But yeah, man, I'm about to play some games. I'm about to chill for the evening. Shout out to y'all in the chat, man. Let me give y'all a round of applause, man. Round of applause for the people in the chat. Round of applause for the people that may watch this later. But yeah, man, tomorrow morning, 11 a.m., What's Up PlayStation podcast with myself and Jay Bari. Make sure you guys check that out. The link to our podcast channel is in the description. Also, follow the official podcast on Twitter at official Wups. Also, if you want to follow my personal channel, my personal Twitter, it's at Persona Speaks. The link to that is in the description as well. Also, make sure you guys check out Jay Bari's channel, Sick Humor TV's channel. You know, their links to their channels are in the description. Corey, man, I'm about to play that. You know me, bro. I'm about to play that Avengers, man. I'm working on that platinum. Persona about to play Sea of Thieves. Nah, bro, no Sea of Thieves out here, bro. Play no Sea of Thieves. That's your trash. It's got the tentacles, but no body. I'm about to play some Avengers, man. I'm working on this platinum, man. I'm trying to play Avengers. I need to do my assignments, do my villain sectors for today on my character, and start leveling up the rest of my characters. So yeah, I'm about to play that. That's what I'm gonna play for the night. But yeah, guys, I appreciate y'all, man. I hope y'all enjoyed this podcast. I will see you guys next week. Next week I got who I got coming through. I think Randall Thor is next week interview. It's either Rand or I forget. I'll post it up on Twitter. Whoever I got coming through. But yeah, guys, I appreciate y'all. Be safe. Appreciate you, Barry, man. Thank you, man. I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. I'm glad all y'all enjoyed it. And anybody, you know, shout out to the lurkers. And shout out to whoever's you know, anybody that watches this later. Shout out to y'all as well. I don't know. I might come back later and stream some Avengers. I gotta see how I feel. I might just want to chill out and just play Avengers. I might come back and stream. I don't know. But yeah, appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good night.